he would bring me to the park all the time, and used to, at 12 years old, I'm playing against grown men, and in those days it was, you get to the park and you'd play and there would be crowds. So if you lose, you got to go home. My dad didn't like to lose too much, so if I'm going to play with him, like we had to run it. So he really just, bought into me and just had that, you can do this, but you got to put the work in. And like, that's been my mentality for a basketball perspective my whole life is, grind and go get it.
Hey everybody, this is Rodney Valinga with the West Ottawa High School Athletic Program, and you're listening to the 29-1 podcast. 29 sports, one team. The show that brings you into the lives of student athletes, coaches, and other faces in the Panthers sports community, bringing you the stories you might otherwise never hear. Join myself and Athletic Director Bill Kennedy as we dive in with you to get to know each other a little bit better.
So you guys can be over here on this half of the court.
Shadow D.
You're going to shadow guard Ronnie.
All the way down.
Okay? Hey, Ronnie,
So you
go
start
over,
the
dribble,
defense.
get somewhere, though. Okay? It's like you're getting
The
picked
other
up
side
full
of the
court.
court.
All right? Ronnie, you get down all the way, you're going to pick up Omari. Okay? Does that make sense? Let's go. Right here.
Oh.
Yep. Hey, stay on this half. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's get better defensively as well. Come on, shadow guard each other. We got to be able to defend too. Let's go. Down the back. Good. There we go. Ooh. Work your pace.
JT, you do not want this, bro.
Good. Hey, don't make it so fast though, right? Because it might be a trap come. You got to be able to slow down, make a decision. Don't get so sped up. Let's go. Last one.
It's important that we lift up and celebrate the people who are doing it right.
Today, we sit down with West Ottawa graduate Jorddan Myrick. Jorddan provides individualized basketball training across West Michigan and works with many of our current Panthers. His training, however, goes beyond the court, and we are excited to share his story today.
He was given the gift of basketball as a player, and he is now taking that gift and sharing it with younger athletes through incredibly detailed instruction, guidance, and occasional bursts of twitchiness.
Jorddan Myrick next on the 29-1 podcast. Let's get it.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome back to the 29-1 podcast. I'm your host, Rodney Valinga, and I am here with Panthers Athletic Director Bill Kennedy. It's the day after Thanksgiving. We went from a beautiful fall scene yesterday to absolute whiteout almost today. Our food coma should be lifted by now, but leftovers are, of course, looming later today, so we'll see how it goes. We hope you all had a relaxing break as the weekend comes to a close. Today, we are flat out thrilled to be with our guest. As a basketball junkie and fans of innovation and change and the evolution of sport, we get to sit down with someone on the cutting edge of individualized basketball training who is transforming players, helping them achieve their dreams, and changing the narrative about what it means to be a complete player. He's a former Division I college basketball player and a West Ottawa graduate from all the way back in, yes, it's this far back, 2011. His high school accolades are numerous, averaging 19.8 points per game as a senior. He was also named to the starting five for the West Ottawa Team of the Century in 2023 by the Holland Sentinel. He's trained the last two Michigan Miss basketball winners in West Ottawa's Gabby Reynolds, East Grand Rapids' Macy Brown, and last year's Michigan Mr. Basketball, Grand Rapids Catholic Central standout Drow Fat Brooks. I'm out of breath. And it's our pleasure to ask, who is it?
Jorddan Myrick.
All right, Jorddan, first and foremost, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here, seeing you around West Ottawa over the last number of years, getting to know you. So much respect for what you do and what you have done with our kids. It's kind of cool how, I guess, our relationship has kind of evolved over time. Initially introduced to you through Chris Hageland and the stuff that you guys were doing on those Sunday South gym sessions, as I like to call them.
Yeah, my guy, Chris, for sure.
But it's been great to get to know you, and I'm excited to sit down with you today.
I appreciate you guys having me.
How was your Thanksgiving, Jorddan? What'd you do? Anything special?
was great. I just really hung out, got to see the fam a little bit, and it was just nice to spend some quality time and kind of relax, get out of the gym for a day. But, day after, we're right back at it, so it doesn't stop.
No, you're right back at it today. How was the food for Thanksgiving?
It was awesome, man. We got ribs, we got greens, macaroni and cheese, we got yams. We're talking desserts now?
Pecan pie.
Sweet potato pie, pecan pie, pound cake, all homemade. German chocolate.
Oh.
Whatever you need, Bill, we got it. It's ridiculous. Food was good, but better with the fam.
That's really nice.
I heard you might have did a little turkey trot in the morning.
Oh, you know what? I tried it. So I was present at the turkey trot. I didn't complete it, but I did trot to the vehicle for after 1.5 miles. I did not get the 5, but hey, I'm limping today, but we're good. We're in good spirits.
That's 1.5 miles more than I did yesterday, so you're good.
It wasn't a fast 1.5, so it was pretty much equivalent.
Yeah, you running miles as fast as you can is not the best thing for you, which we'll talk about in a little while.
Not at all.
But you were right back at it today. You're back in the gym today doing some training. Who'd you have in today?
I had Hudson, I had Makai, JT, Ben, and that was it.
Wow, so that's right after Thanksgiving, everybody's back in the gym. It's pretty common, right? Like there's not a lot of downtime with your athletes.
No, that's the beauty of it. Everybody loves to work, and those are the kids I really want to be around. And West Ottawa has a lot of young kids that want to get to it, and I think there's just a ton of upside with our program.
No doubt about it.
You're doing a lot of morning work
with
our guys. So before school day starts, we're in the gym getting work in.
Yeah, we're getting to it 6 a.m. and we're just for an hour, but that hour is real. It's intense, and I see the kids love it though. It's early, but they get the sweat going, and at the end we get competitive and they're smiling. So it's all fun, man.
Yeah.
You were in the stands for the season opening 76-59 win against Godwin Heights. What are your thoughts on the upcoming season? What was it like seeing some of your players out there? What do you see from them and the team?
Man, that was a great opener. I just love to see the kids with just a lot of confidence. Everybody that, the whole starting 5, I work with all of them, and you just saw confidence pouring out of them, and there was no, shock. We got JT running the 1 as a freshman, and got a lot of young kids, and they're fully confident, aggressive, getting downhill, and I love that. And that's really what the training really should translate to, and I loved it.
Do you see some of young Jorddan Myrick when you watch those guys play a little bit?
No, man, those kids they're better than what I was. So no, I just, like I said, with the training stuff, you just want to see it translate. And I saw a lot of moves I've been working on, and just the really good footwork. So it was awesome for me.
You are definitely a man of detail, which we will talk about in a little while. What's really cool, that's the very same gym you played in. I always do some research on people that come into the podcast, and I saw you beardless.
Yeah.
I saw you with a little tuft on the chin.
Yeah.
I saw that guy. What is it about, coming back in that gym, and is it different for you to train in your own gym, the one you played in, or what's that like for you?
Yeah, I just love being, at West Ottawa. Like I said, I played here, and just, having these kids work hard, and it's really rewarding to see it. When I played, there was a lot of community support, and it just continues to be that way. And I think it has a lot to do with Bill and just the community as a whole. So it's special, man.
Yeah, I would say from my perspective, I see you guys in your roles. I love this like symbiotic relationship the two of you have. Yeah. You guys maybe talk about that a little bit. Jorddan, you have a pass to the gym. You have a key to the school. Like it is, a lot of working together.
Yeah, for sure. So I think, like I said earlier, introduced first to Jorddan through Chris Hagland, and then saw the work that he was doing really, I guess, really for Gabby, because she was the early morning grinder, get into the gym, trying to fit in a session whenever she could. Then finding gym space is always kind of one of those challenging parts to what Jorddan does. With the number of athletes that he's working with now from West Ottawa, it just made sense to me to say, hey, here, let's get you set up. Let's get you a swipe card so you can pop in. Oh, there's an aux gym that's available. Boom, jump in, get the work in. When we're dealing with our kids it's just awesome to see them be able to have their space here. Conversely, though, it's also awesome to have kids from other schools come in and realize, like, holy cow, look at these facilities that we're in and training in. And you've got Van der Bosch from Holland Christian, who's an absolute beast. You know, ultimately, I want to see all kids reach their potential, whether they're here or elsewhere from the other communities. It's all about just getting them to realize their full potential.
When you got started, did you have the ability to get to gyms easy, or what was that like?
You know, honestly, that's the biggest part when you're trying to do basketball training is finding gym space. And, you know, I was all over the place. I was at Boys and Girls Club for a while. I started off at the Fenville CAC,
right?
You know, kind of interrupting what they had going on. And, just now having, you know, Bill really, you know, tap into what I'm doing and having that relationship I'm truly grateful. Like when you're starting to do stuff on your own, like finding that space is tough. So now it's walk into West Ottawa's gym and know that I'm not going to be bothered. Nobody's going to question me. And they know that I'm here for a real purpose. And having that gym space is everything.
When you were younger, did you have someone train you? I listened to some other things that you've been on in the past where you talk about being younger. You were a guy who put in a ton of work when you were younger. Did you have anyone train you back then?
Yeah, man. I had a trainer, and his name is TJ Mearman. I actually had the, you know, opportunity to coach underneath him as an assistant at Catholic Central last 2 years ago.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
He was at Kenwood Hills at the time. So when I was in high school here, I used to drive after school to Kenwood, and that's 45 to an hour with that traffic. And we used to get to it. And that's what he really had a huge impact of what I do now. His love for the game and just giving back to kids.
How old was he when he was training you?
Man, that was TJ looks young now still, but that was a young TJ. I would probably say he's probably in his 30s, I want to say, late 30s, mid 30s. So yeah, he was still active. We used to go one-on-one and, you know, he used to give it to me. I'm not going to lie to you, but he showed me the way with this training stuff, and I'm forever grateful for him.
What are your, you put in a lot of work back then, always putting in that work. You had a really nice high school career. What are some of your favorite memories about playing high school basketball here at West Ottawa? What stands out in your memory?
No, just I think the student section always stood out to me. Like it was just, you know, my peers were always
Black hole was full.
Black hole was always full and jumping. You know, even if we were, you know, 4 and 98, they're going to be there every time. You know, it was a great time having them there, and we used to do like the pink out games. I think it's the purple out now. And, you know, just seeing that still is special. We have a really good community.
What are some certain maybe games you remember, challenges that you face as a player?
Yeah, certain games. I remember a sophomore year I was really sick, playing out the varsity team, and I had probably one of my best games, and that was special to me for sure.
We got a Jorddan Myrick flu game.
Yeah, just flu game, man. I was sick as a dog, and yeah, I think the stats, I had 27 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and I don't remember any of it, but I just remember like how tough the game was. So that was a special one for me.
It's something about the illness that makes you really dial in and focus on
no wasted energy,
because you have to in order to conserve energy.
Truly.
I remember a game. I was not a super accomplished high school basketball player. I was a 6-man. I had a role.
Yeah.
I was the big physical kid that would come in and give up 5 fouls.
Hey, that's essential.
The enforcer.
Very important.
But I think my best high school game, I was sick. I was popping, throat lozenges every time I went to the bench just to get through. But yeah, it helps you dial in.
Yeah, I find it very interesting that it's almost like a universal experience. Everybody has a game where they weren't feeling well. For some reason, you just hit these heights.
It's crazy.
It is crazy, isn't it? Like being sick and having a big game. Wasn't the gator load or the bad pizza. Not Jordan.
No.
But Michael Jordan, of course, we're talking about there. When you were younger, the goal for you was always to play college basketball.
Yeah.
Talk about how, what that was like for you as a youngster, always having that sitting there as something. I asked you this in the gym earlier today because we spent some time together, and I asked you if you were always twitchy.
Yeah.
And you were. Did you feel like you had the ability to do something special when you were younger?
Yeah, man. I really give all my, promise to my stepdad. He really like honed into me at a young age, and he had me write down my goals like on a piece of paper and put it on the bathroom mirror when I was younger. And my first one was to, play Division I basketball. And he would bring me to the park all the time. And he used to, at 12 years old, I'm playing against grown men, and in those days it was, you get to the park and you'd play and there would be crowds. So if you lose, you got to go home. My dad didn't like to lose too much. So if I'm going to play with him, like we had to run it. So he really just, bought into me and just had that, you can do this, but you got to put the work in. And like, that's been my mentality for a basketball perspective my whole life is, grind and go get it. So he really, my stepdad is the reason why I've accomplished those goals for sure.
Do you think we're losing a lot by people not playing as much like that anymore?
100%.
On like just running on courts with.
Yeah, you miss like the physicality and just the overall mentality. Like, I think kids now, it's like everybody's, they work out, but it's very quiet. It's to themselves. When you're at the park grinding against grown men, you get cussed at, you might get pushed, and you might hit the ground kind of hard. And, that's kind of a lost art, really.
And no foul either out there.
No.
You better be bleeding.
Yeah.
If you're getting anything.
Yeah, you better be on the way to the hospital, right? So and don't call anything soft. But no, yeah. I missed the park days. I wish the kids had that opportunity.
Where did you play around here?
Yeah, the Zealand night courts. Played out a lot over there. My dad used to get off work and then like we would just drive to the park and get to it right away from like, I want to say like 5 p.m. to like, we're talking 12.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah. Like it was different. And it's
yeah.
concrete. And like I look at my body now, it's like, oh yeah, I get it. Like it's concrete.
Yep.
And I'm going 100 miles an hour trying to win, getting beat up. Like,
How old were you when you started playing out there? Probably what?
12, 13.
No way. I was going to say 15 or 12, 13.
12, 13. My dad used to be like, hey, like he's playing, so don't take it easy on him. And that's where I really got like my confidence from, just playing against grown men and being successful at times. And that through the roof confidence, like I'm not worried about a kid my age,
Yeah, the game slows down when you're
down so much.
playing against those faster, older people.
Height and weight when you were that age?
Oh, I was skin and bones, man. Truly, but I love the game, and like I said, my stepdad, he was like, "If you're gonna be good, you got to go through this. So let's do it."
And you said before that that shooting really wasn't your thing at that age. So are you getting to the cup against these old men?
Yeah. So it's windy at times. Games to 11, to 20, whatever, and yeah, if the wind's blowing, you got to get to the basket. So that's why I really didn't have a jump shot. I played outside so much.
There's that famous scene from White Men Can't Jump where they talk about the wind.
It's true.
Yeah.
Did you ever play outside on courts, Bill?
All growing up.
Right.
I mean, growing up in Baltimore, that was, there was a park about a block up from my house, right across the street, the typical city basketball court. So, 20-foot high chain link fence, black top, double rims, chain net.
Yeah, your jump shot better be sweet because that double rim ain't forgiving.
It's not forgiving. But it hilarious that, growing up with that chain net, I love the sound of the chain net. So when we got like the home hoop, when we had Dakota and he's at home and wants to get a hoop, I went out and got a chain net for my driveway.
I love that. I do.
I just had to bring a little bit of that inner city basketball to the suburbs.
Truly. It's a special sound,
I remember back then too, there was no training. Like the guys that I grew up playing ball with, and there's a lot of players that were really good. It's like we just played on cement courts, like you said, and that's where you learned how to play.
Yeah.
That's why I was such a physical player once I started playing organized. But I didn't play organized basketball until 8th grade. That was after we had moved out of the city, north of town, started playing, and I was physical from the beginning because that's all I knew. Like if you weren't physical on the city court, you weren't going to be on it very long.
Not at all. It's a quick one too,
Yeah.
and they'll let you know about it. So.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about your stepdad a lot. I watched the podcast that you're on with Chris Cook, and I believe it's Be Great is his thing on YouTube. You talk a lot about your mom on there as well, right? Like this whole work ethic and all that kind. Can you share with us maybe how she shaped you and influenced you growing up?
No, for sure. My mom's my everything, really. Growing up before my stepdad, it was just me and her and my grandma, and I always just saw her just work hard and never complain about much at all. And just she kind of just held me to that standard. Like, life's not always going to be easy, but like whatever you do, you gotta put your shoes on and get to it. So my work ethic and like waking up early and whatever. Like I saw my mom do that from the jump. So it's nothing that I can be like, oh, I'm too good for that or whatever. Like, never. I owe all that to her.
You had some coaches here at West Ottawa. Who around this school particularly influenced you when you were younger?
Von Washington definitely influenced me. He was, he'd never coached me, but like he would be, I'd come in the gym and I'd watch him, do his practices and all that. And that dude was awesome. He always had, I think a winning record at West Ottawa, if I'm not mistaken, but I just loved his culture, the way that he went about things. And, I try to take some of everybody that I like into my training stuff. And Von's definitely one of those guys. Like he was awesome, man.
Who was this?
Von Washington.
Yep.
Oh, how come I don't know who Von Washington is?
He was the varsity head coach before Jeff Van Fossen came in.
Yep. Great.
He's got a couple of, I think, OK Red titles in the trophy case.
Yeah, like, and I was always nobody. I don't know if you guys know this. I was a water boy for his teams and all that, and I was the biggest like Leonard Houston fan. And yeah, man, like he had a big impact on me when playing ball. So yeah, when I was a water boy and being around Von and Leonard, like those guys really like they really paved the way for me. Honestly, like I loved watching those guys do their thing.
So you're a water boy in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade, something like that?
Yeah,
really? You're that kid?
Yeah, I was, man. I was behind the bench.
Love it.
Yeah,
And that's the love right there, right?
Truly, yeah. I was getting
Just
the
being
water
around
with
it.
Yeah.
You, as a sophomore, I believe, you committed to Central Michigan, right? Was it a sophomore or junior?
Sophomore. Yeah, sophomore year committed to CMU right away.
How'd that come about?
Yeah, so my commitment to Central was probably different than others. I received an offer, I think summer my freshman year. And then going into my sophomore year, my stepdad, he's a salesman, right? So he's a talker.
Sure.
So he would get in with the assistant coach at CMU and let me go up there and play with the guys when not many high school kids were doing that. And, I would go up there and honestly, like I would ball out. Like I would do my thing. And like, it was to the point to where.
You were playing with CMU players as a sophomore at West Ottawa.
Yeah, it was freshman, sophomore. Yep, for sure. So it definitely.
And the legend grows.
No, but definitely recruiting violations or whatever. But I didn't even hit the court really for CMU. But
Statute of limitations.
100%, right? And there's no hard fouls. But yeah, I would go up there and I would play and like I wouldn't really get off the court. No, and it was to the point to where I was really super confident, and I was like, why would I feel like this is home. Like, why would I go anywhere else? I can play right away. I know I can play right away.
Right.
The coaches were watching and they were like, okay. So, one day I went with my dad to my official visit and I was like, man, I think this is it. And he was like, yeah, you need to. So I did it. Pulled the trigger on it.
As a sophomore?
As a sophomore, yeah.
Wow.
Unofficial visit, excuse me. Yep.
Yeah.
It's nice to get that weight off your shoulders, right?
Yeah, truly.
Saw it a little bit last year. Mm-hmm. Once Gabby had that announcement and everything was done, there was a little bit of a weight lifted off of her. You could tell. Yeah. She just played more free.
Moving different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, more confident, just relaxed. That's exactly what it was for me too, for sure.
Yeah.
You have a freshman season at CMU. You play, what was your playing role like there as a freshman? Man,
at Central, it was really a lot of clapping. So, yeah, I had a short-lived career at Central. I got hurt preseason, had some hip problems, and
it was preseason you got hurt.
Yeah, it was preseason.
Oh, I did not know that.
It was
okay.
It was a rough one. Preseason, I get hurt, ran a mile as fast as I've ever ran it, and I think my body just turned a corner, and I couldn't really recover. I had shooting pains from my hips to my knees, and I was just constant. I was trying to like explain it to the coaches, and they're like, nobody really believed me. You know what I'm saying? I even would call home like, Mom, like this stuff hurts. And she was like, just stop being soft. You know, like soft was a big word. And like they would throw it on me a lot. So I was like, you know what? I am kind of soft. This wasn't anything to play about. And yeah, I tried to play and I just couldn't. And eventually a doctor was like, because I went to multiple doctors and one was like, you know, looking at your x-rays, you got 55-year-old man hips at 19. You'll probably never play.
I'm not taking offense to that, by the way, but continue.
Oh my goodness. But what I'm saying is, it's not a shot at you.
I know it wasn't. It was totally accidental.
You're in great shape.
I loved it.
But that's what they told me. And that's 100%. That's hilarious. But yeah, that's what they told me. And like, it crushed me, man. That was it. I was doing a lot of clapping on the bench.
When you started, when that happened to you and you played, what was the difference? Like, what started happening to your game?
I figured out I couldn't play at that level anymore. I would have spurts in practice where I would be okay, but it was short lived. And I noticed defensively, I couldn't be who I was. And offensively, I was, quick twitchy. I couldn't do that anymore. So I was just a whole different basketball player. And then, with that comes what? You lose confidence. Everything around you is just different. And then, yeah, ultimately I had to transfer.
Yeah, you resurfaced at Lake Superior State in Sault Ste. Marie.
Yep.
GLIAC.
Yep.
You played there. I looked at your stats. You played fairly well there.
Yeah.
Didn't last, though. Talk to us about it, if that's all right.
Yeah, for sure. Lake State was, Coach Headinga, he's just a great guy. He gave me an opportunity. Like, I remember I went up there for like a tryout type of deal, and I was limping, but like I was just making it. The game was so slow so going from D1 to D2, the game.
Sure.
We ran pickup, and the game was so slowed down. Like I could just read it, and I was throwing. I was always a really good passer, and it was just fluid, even though I was limping up the court. Right. So he offered me a full ride scholarship off of that, and I played like 8 games, and that was kind of it, man. But I love that dude just for giving me that opportunity.
You were playing and it was hard to play. What stopped you from playing or keep playing?
It just hurt too bad. I didn't want to. I was popping the leaves. At one point I couldn't feel my left side of my face. I'm like, I gotta, 19, 20 years old. Like, what am I doing? I love the game, but I got a life to live too. So I had to really make a mature decision. I just stepped away. I stepped away from school and everything.
Yeah, it's wild that you mentioned, popping a leaf, because that's ultimately what dictated me coming to terms with ending my own football career.
Yeah.
I had multiple shoulder surgeries, came back my junior year, was in training camp, and it was a battle just to get through a practice. And you start to look at kind of long-term health effects and impact on your body and all of those types of things. And you have to make an educated decision.
Yeah.
What did that do from like an identity standpoint? Because I know for me, it crushed me. My grades, my junior year of college, are the worst grades I've ever had in my life, because I lost that identity as that football. You're the football player. Yeah. You had kind of a similar thing losing that.
100%. So, credit to you for continuing your, going to school and all that. I was so lost, man. So I dropped out, right? And I hadn't got surgery, and I was like, I had plans to go back and all that, and, going to Sault Ste. Marie on crutches. And I was up there for a week, and I was like, hey, coach, I appreciate you. And he offered me a spot to be a coach when I graduate and all that.
Wow.
That's like, I love Steve Headinga. He's a great guy. And, I was like, I can't do it. I need some time away. And like Bill said, like my identity was just, I didn't know who I was.
Well, if you think about it this way, right? Like for the longest part of your life growing up, you were Jorddan Myrick, the basketball player.
100%.
Yeah. You had goals to pursue. You had work to put in. You had dreams to fulfill. Now you're kind of back in that same spot, right? You're Jorddan the adult. You're Jorddan the trainer. You have young people that you're around. You see their dreams. You put in work with them. So you found this new role, yet between the years of 2014 and 2018, you were neither of those guys.
Neither.
Walk us through what those years were like for you.
Rough, man. Like I said, I didn't know who I was. Didn't know what to do. I looked crazy trying to get back on the court. My surgeries, I had 6 months, no weight bearing on my left. And then right after that, 6 months, no weight bearing on my right. So that's a year off. No walking. and then, so, everything really took a toll on me. I was so lost. I didn't know what to do. I tried, numerous jobs, and, I was just a miserable individual, going, kind of being the guy to, people like, what do you do? And I didn't have an answer for him.
Oh, that's the worst thing, isn't it?
It was rough, man. It truly was. Like,
and you dread the question being asked.
Yeah.
What do you do, Jorddan Myrick?
I was just
that's
like,
tough.
I was just like, I'll just work, man. And then that was the reality of it. I think everything in life happens for a reason, but when you're in that, it's the worst.
Then that all changes, right?
All changes.
You get a random person who out of nowhere says, hey, I want you to train my kid. You talk to us a little bit about who that was and where that came from.
Oh, for sure. So, I through it all, like, I was lost, but I was in the gym. I love to work out, not saying like I was trying to pursue anything in particular, but I was working out, and, a parent approached me and he was like, hey, will you work out my son? And, being that lost guy, I was like, nah, I'm good, man, and I just want to do this and kind of just go home. And he was like, you don't understand. Like, it doesn't matter. You're going to do it. And then, we'll go from there. So he didn't take no for an answer. And I'm thankful that he did. And I started working his kids out. And as that happened, more kids came and kind of found the training role. And that really, it was everything to me, honestly.
Do you ever think about,
go ahead.
Do you ever think about that you might not have ever started if someone didn't ask you? Does it ever cross your mind?
It's crazy, right? Because that is so true. But
wasn't on your radar, right?
No, I never had aspirations to do this at all. I thought, from that standpoint, I never saw myself as a coach. Even when Steve Hettinger asked me to be on the coaching staff, I was like, yeah, thanks. But in the back of my mind, I was never going to do that. I could never see myself in a coaching position. So, yeah, when I started doing it, it all clicked. It was just weird, man.
Sometimes in life, you're not steering the ship.
No.
There's other factors that are pushing you in a certain direction. When you look back at it now, just a little bit as a mature person, when I barely know you.
Yeah.
I started talking to you in the summer. Dude, I'm telling you what, man, spending time in your company, I'm going to get a little emotional here, but it's fantastic. You are a great human being.
Appreciate you.
You're something special, man.
Thank you so much. You are too, man.
Yeah, and so many lessons to teach young people and share with young people, which is really what ultimately this podcast is all about, right? Sharing these stories, getting them out to the community so that maybe a little nugget of your path or your career can kind of be that piece that maybe helps guide someone else in a direction. Certainly, I think somebody that was important kind of in your role and your growth as a trainer is Chris Haglund.
Yeah, for sure.
Chris has been a really good friend since I started here at West Ottawa. Got to see his son Kobe kind of come up and through in my first few years here.
Kobe had the handles too, man. He really brought it.
Hoop, man.
I loved watching Kobe Haglund play basketball.
He had swag to him.
The only thing I didn't like
swag.
was they never let him loose enough.
They never did.
He was always kind of, let's come back to the cage. No. Let this dog run. He's ready to go.
Kobe had it for sure.
He did.
Gosh, I remember watching Kobe. It was his freshman year, maybe towards the end of the season. We're at Caledonia. He gets pulled up to varsity and he rolls out. And Kobe was a young looking kid when he was a senior.
Yeah, they called him Caillou. The visiting student section would call him Caillou when he was out there. He had the short hair back then.
Yeah, and gosh, seeing him out there on the court his freshman year, but then he goes out and he starts to play, and he's like, yeah, he fits.
He fits.
Mm-hmm.
He might not look the part, but he fits. He's got game. What was kind of the experience like working with Chris and you guys doing those camps?
Man, Chris is my guy. I absolutely love that dude. He taught me a lot. Before Chris, I was doing a lot of individual stuff with kids, and Chris had the camp experience too. So, when we collabed and did our stuff, like I really picked up a lot from him. And, you know, when I do the camps, like a lot of it's Chris based as well. Yeah, he had a huge impact on how I operate my camps and go about my training for sure. Just a great guy overall. If I ever need anything, I know I can call Chris and we can just talk it through or whatever. He's a special guy for sure.
Yeah. How do your strengths kind of play off of each other within those camp settings, right?
Yeah, for sure. So Chris is really like, he's shooting base, right? Kobe can shoot the heck out the ball. And I'm definitely handle based footwork and body movement based. So that was just a perfect combination, honestly. Like you go into a camp, you got the shooting expertise, and then you got the handle footwork from me. And, you know, those were fun times, man. I miss Chris for sure.
On your Instagram page, which is lit, there we go.
It's so not, but
I'm trying. You list yourself as a hoops trainer,
a
shooting coach, and then this is my favorite part of it: a handle/footwork specialist.
100%.
We spent some time in the gym earlier today. You were working out with some guys, and I came by with a pair of sneakers. This is how it went.
Stay high. Yep, stay high. Behind.
Here.
Step with your right foot. Boom, yep. Perfect. That's the first part. Step. Oop, no dribble though. No crossover. Step. Yep.
But I'm
Keep
already.
that ball here.
Okay. Holy crap.
Step. Yeah, so it's like one motion, you see? So when the ball's going behind, you're dropping.
And that's why you played Division One.
A little bit, right?
And that's why I played at Podunk.
It's okay. Podunk Division One.
Podunk, we need you. That was me, man. All right. Starting high.
Behind, yep.
Behind the back,
Step.
let it hang.
Step. Work. Perfect. Now. Step.
Oh, I'm stepping early.
Behind, step. Boom. Perfect.
Oh, dude.
Now watch this though. So that's the first part right here. We're eventually gonna go step again and cross. So we're going 1, 2, cross. Back.
You know, when I'm watching you do that, I've seen Gabby Reynolds do that a million times.
Yep.
That exact same thing.
Yep.
What is that giving me as an athlete with when that foot moves out like that?
Options, right? Because if they bite here, okay, they're sliding with you, now I can take off. If they don't move, I can push off, right? Now that crossover, so like if they don't bite at all, I'm gonna lean hard, step again and cross. So now they have to make a decision. Does that make sense?
The volume of detail that you brought out in just that short little bit blew me away. Where does that detail come from? Like, did you always have that in you or what? I mean, not everybody thinks that way. It's something else.
No, I watch a lot of basketball, and like I said, I love to work out myself. So anytime I'm doing stuff, like I always try to break it down in my head and try to make it make sense if I were to teach it to somebody else. So I've been teaching that move for a while too. So
I know, yeah.
Came pretty second nature, but
no, it didn't come quick for me at all.
I was gonna cut in here. All right, I need shoot it straight. What's the guy's game like?
You know what? Rodney has he's north and south. You know, I'm very shifty, start and stop. He's 100, 0 to 100, and that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We're gonna get the pace down.
You know how we talked about your identity earlier? I am now in I'm in this fog now of basketball identity. I thought I played okay during my lifetime, but
no, you look good, man. Like you gotta just a couple of things here and there. That's it.
You gotta come over and start getting in the Friday morning run.
Hey, man, it was definitely a podcast based. Let's learn a little bit, and I learned a lot. Let's just put it that way.
You did better than what you think, man. For sure.
Oh my gosh, but it was funny. But it's so nice to as a fan of basketball though, to know that you're bringing that much detail to every move. It's really something. Some of your players that were there, I think my son was there today. He actually talks about that. Let's have a listen to that for a second.
I don't know. He teaches well. Like he explains things well. He'll do it from the small things to the bigger aspect. Like you start with the smallest thing, then you pick it up, add stuff to it. Yep. But you get stuff down piece by piece, and then you add to it.
Yep. Perfect. So I showed your dad the behind the back stick, right?
Yeah,
dropping the same ball, same foot back, and then we went to stick cross. We went behind, step, cross. Pops is a little lost on that one, but he understands like why now because we talked about
because we'll do it slow, then we'll speed it up and get into
for sure.
That's when because you do it slow, it doesn't look shifty, and you get it into fast, and that's when
And then it's real shifty.
yeah.
And then you got options off that first one. I'm just looking at the defender. If you don't bite on that foot, I'm gone. If you step into it, I'm going to cross back. Now I got a lane to the middle.
I just love the detail that you bring to everything. Like you build things. Can you explain in just like how you kind of build things up so a player can understand it, get it? Maybe they're able to master the first small thing and then move forward.
Yeah, my biggest thing as a workout guy is answering the why question. Why are we doing this and how does it apply? And so, whenever I'm breaking down a move, I want the player to see the game, and then I want them to understand like they have options and how to break the defender down and why we're doing it. That move in particular is not an easy move to learn, right? That stick into the cross. So yeah, it's just those details and understanding like if something gets cut off, like you're gonna have options off of that.
Yeah, it feels like a great starter move for a lot of people when they get the ball and gather and figure out
For sure.
square up with that defender.
Yep.
Is that one of the main starting places, or do you have a few for people?
Yeah, it just depends. So I can work out with somebody for like 10, 15 minutes and kind of just see like where, I can incorporate some training stuff, like some footwork, some body movements, how to shift, how to do this, that, and the third. So some kids already have that, right? And then now you got to backtrack and understand like where they can get better. So everybody's different, but you give it some time, you can really just dissect somebody. And like I'm to the point now to where I feel like I can do that right away.
So different starting points for different athletes based on the ability they already have, things they've already learned.
Yep.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yep.
And maybe what type of player they are, right?
100%.
Like JT Gill's game is going to be a lot different than Hudson,
100%.
right?
Yep.
Just they're different types of players, and being able to meet each player where they're at and kind of building off of what they have.
It's important to really understand each player. And, I think a lot of, workout guys, they go through it and it's kind of just one thing. But like I try to like do something for, everybody, hey, we all have an issue hanging the ball. Let's hang the ball today. Let's try this move. It's, hey, we're shooting flat on our jumper. We got to get some footwork into our shooting, collectively as a team. So it's just breaking things down and making it make sense for the group.
Before he got here, I was playing some of this stuff for Bill, and he asked, "Well, what does it mean when you hang the ball?"
Yeah,
this was really like eye opening to me. But can you talk about what hanging the ball actually is compared to what people regularly do, and then what advantages does it give a player? Yeah,
so hanging the ball is really just having the ball like outside of your body frame, right? So the advantage for that is like, and now when I hang the ball, like I can go, I can shoot. Right. And I can cross over and I can make different decisions that take different angles where the ball is, centered. If the ball is straight on your palm, you're dribbling the ball down. Now you can only dribble really, and you don't have many options off of it. So that's why I preach like hanging the ball so much and being able to use pace in basketball. So now when the kid has the ball, it's, they say triple threat, but you have way more than 3 options. Right. You can
That's an old teaching.
Right.
Correct?
Yep, truly, it is.
Truly.
It is. In today's game, like they don't call carry too much. And essentially it is a carry, but at the same time, like you got to take advantage of what you got. So I teach hanging the ball and just being able to make decisions off of that. And it's really eye-opening when somebody understands it.
As an old school, traditional back to the basket post
you can laugh,
player,
Jordan. It's
I
okay.
can tell you that
Love it.
Kennedy in the 55 was not hanging the ball very often. It was one dribble, power step into get a guy on my shoulder and try to get a little hook.
Love it. And that's essential too, though. You can't, it's not always going to be, guard heavy too. I work with post players as well. So you got to have the baby hooks in there, the roll offs, spins. Yeah. I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah. My patented move was the baseline fadeaway.
Yeah.
Was it really?
I like the little Patrick Ewing.
Well, you took him a little left first and then faded away right.
Fake him into the key, into the lane, and then go baseline and rise up.
Is that Patrick Ewing or Bill Kennedy? I don't know. I love it.
Who's who? I don't know. It's really weird for us too, because like Bill and I'm the oldest in the room. I'm 55. Mm-hmm. Bill, you're what, 47?
47.
Jordan, you are?
Going on 32.
Going on 32. So we are really coming from, almost 3 different eras. You and I are probably pretty close.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to me, like when I watch basketball now, it's like I want to stop and like, so I've coached like courthouse ball a little bit with the guys. I teach my stuff, but I'm like, man, like it's just different. Like I want to teach back to the basket stuff all the time.
Yep.
I want to teach the show. I want to teach the head fake. I want to teach that drop step. And it's all good stuff.
100%.
But boy, does it change. And what you're doing,
The game of
it's
basketball
incredible.
has gotten to a point now where, I mean, in the NBA, it's positionless, right? You put 5 people out there that can all move and go from all the various positions on the court. When I was coming up, it was very still old school, you know, point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. And because I happened to be 6'3", like I got lumped into that center power forward role, even at 6'3".
Get to the block.
Go to the block.
Yep.
Rebound.
Yep.
Do all the dirty work. I was like a Jake Garrett's of Francis Scott Key basketball.
There we go. I love that.
what of the old stuff still holds value to you?
Oh, definitely. Like, you know, if you get, so I worked with Coriante he went to Holland, played at Cincinnati, plays
Coriante
professional.
DeBerry, that guy was a beast.
A beast, right? Bully.
Yeah.
Right. So those,
What's his size?
He was big.
6'9", 6'10",
Oh,
but not skinny. Bully, you know, so.
And then I had Windemuller out on the out by the 3-point line shooting
the ball. So you got the inside in kind of presence, but for Coriante, like those same things apply, right? Over the right shoulder, over left shoulder. You have to have all those touches around the basket. The same forward, like you said, the drop step. Still teach all that stuff, right? But with Coriante, yeah, obviously the block's important, but if you want to play at a different level, you want to get, you know, he's playing professionally. If you want to make more money, step out a little bit. Show your range now. Okay, you can shoot a little bit. Well, let's now make you a threat off the dribble into your jump shot. Oh, now you can do that. Okay, well, let's have you break somebody down. Okay, so they cut you off. Let's get you back into that, you know, dribble down off the post action. So just kind of bringing everything together. And
you really help these people expand their games, right?
Oh yeah.
So we were in the gym earlier. The girl from Holland Christian.
Yep. Ken Vandenbosch. Yep.
So you talked about her a little bit before, more of a
She's a knockdown shooter.
Yep. And then
now she's one of the best ball handlers I work with. Girl or boy, she is the ball on a string, and she can kind of get to wherever she wants to. Really expanded her game over 2 years. I think she went from 0 offers, and I think over last summer she had 9 at one point. I think she ended with 10 or 11. So yeah,
she's a girl that I've been fortunate enough to see because we play Holland Christian, and those games are always really amped up, especially when we're over at the Civic. It's just packed. But her game has really changed. I mean, she was pure shooter, stand out beyond the arc a couple of years ago. Last year, I noticed it right away. Like, oh, this girl's got handle now. And with her size, she's really going to give guards a lot of trouble this year. She's going to have a huge, huge senior year.
Yeah, she's fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
Sure.
what does a typical week look like for you when you're training all these different people? Like, give me like 30 seconds. Give me a week.
Yeah, so I probably got like 4 or 6 a.m. workouts, probably 2 on a Tuesday, Thursday, back to back after school. And then I probably run 2 on either Saturday or Sunday, probably Saturday and Sunday, 2 group workouts. So you're looking at probably like 10, 12 workouts total for a week. Yeah.
How many kids would you say you have training with you at different levels right now?
Yeah, man. Well, for the group, I try to make it like kind of the same level, but I'll probably have to say I don't work with too many young kids right now. But, you know, because it's high school season, it's mainly sophomores through seniors. And, yeah, we run some groups here. And I think I got like 5 or 6 boys, 5 or 6 girls at a time. But the morning groups is probably 4 West Ottawa boys.
Yeah.
Yep. And then 2 individuals after work, after school.
Who are your West Ottawa athletes right now?
Yeah, I got Hudson, Darian, JT, Kai. I work with Jana, Honeycutt. She's going to be a problem. Taylor Cadden, she's going to have a huge
season.
Huge season.
I'm excited for her.
Yeah, me too, man. Taylor, she's a great person, man.
One of the nicest kids you're ever going to meet.
Ever. Nyla, Darian's sister, she's gonna be good too. And I don't want to miss out, leave anybody out. Yeah, I think I covered almost everybody.
And if you forget somebody, we forgive you. It's hard. There's a lot of people to remember.
Little Ronnie, He's in there every once in a while.
Ronnie Ferguson.
Yeah, that's my guy. Man.
He can score 12 points in about 45 seconds if you let him get at it.
It's a
Pound for pound, the most athletic kid in this building.
100%. It's a microwave.
I'd put him against any kid, pure athleticism.
Yep. He's got it, man, for sure.
Yeah, big fan of Ronnie. When players talk about you, they always talk about how relational you are.
Yeah.
Why do you teach that way, and why does the relationship matter to you?
Like, I think basketball is cool, but honestly, like, I love people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the fact that, you know, after the workout or whatever, like, we can talk about anything, life, hard times, good times, whatever you're going through. Like, I just want to be able to just be somebody that you can lean on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I've been through a lot, and, you know, I feel like it applies to a lot of different things. So with the kids that I work with, I just want to be like a big brother to them, and, you know, let them know, like, I care. I truly do.
Well, I think they do know. Over the last couple of days, I got to talk with a few of them. Here is Ronnie Ferguson, JT Gill, Makai Campos, and Hudson Valinga talking about working out with you.
I feel like it pushes me and gets me better every time I work out with them. The handle work, pace work, and then, like, conditioning, shooting, stuff like that. So it's like moving around, like, in-game stuff. It's just like us dribbling, like earlier when we did, like, each of us under hoop dribbling in the paint, just working on our pace, and then fast to slow against defenders and stuff like that.
He really pushes us, and I be seeing him on Instagram getting work with all the kids in the area. And yeah, he's a good role model. Cause like he played college, and that means like he really know what he's doing. Gave me like shift gears, slow to fast, finishing. So yeah, I trust him.
He just like pushes me. Like he's really like, I don't know. He just helps a lot. He's always helped me get extra work in to help my process. I feel like with me, he's just like he pushes me more, and like I don't know. There's an extra pushes me to be great, not just good. It's just like there's a lot of different ways he teaches me, and I've learned a lot just from like the simple stuff like that.
Just a cool dude. Like being around him. You can talk about anything. Talk hoops, talk life. Like, I don't know. It's like an uncle, older cousin.
I'll take the unk, man. That's crazy, but I'll take it. It's bigger than basketball, right?
Yeah, definitely.
My guy for sure. So
that's so important for student athletes who are going through things, right? Like they can have conversations with coaches, they can have conversations with parents, but then having somebody else that they can call and kind of gain some perspective from, so important as they're kind of going through things. And hearing a different voice, right? Like if I'm in the season, I hear coach's voice, I hear the assistant coach's voice all the time. Just to be able to have that different perspective also, I think will really benefit those kids. So
I appreciate that, but at the same time, like, you know, you take the Gabbies, you take all these kids away from me, like, same effect, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need the kids too. It's not just Jordan, like, I need them too. So I'm very grateful, man. Like, doing what I love to do, like, there's nothing better. Every day I wake up, like, I'm blessed to work with kids, and like they add to me. So
with the stuff that you went through too, with all these kids pouring all this time into basketball, you were also that kid, but then you also got it taken away from you very quickly. What do you do when you talk with your kids or work with them to help them be multidimensional or understand that, hey, you gotta be more than this too. As much as we're pouring into this, there's got to be more to you than just this.
Yeah, definitely talk about balance a lot, right? There's more to life than just hoops. You know, make sure you go out and do different things. You know, like figure out. You know, you don't want to be in that situation where you're just a one-trick pony, right? You want to be able to. I also like to do X, Y, or Z. You know, life is short in a sense, but also at the same time, there's a long day. So you got to be able to have your mind in different things and be able to have different outlets. And, you know, if they ever are questioning that, like I just go back to balance. Make sure you're doing other things in basketball because it's so important to do that.
I mentioned it to Makai as we were kind of coming off the court the other night. His experience through the football season has, I think, benefited him tremendously, right? He changed his body. He got a little thicker.
Yeah.
He's used to more physicality. Going into the lane is nothing like going into the pile on a Friday night.
You would know better than I, right? For sure. For sure. Like, it's just so important to, you know, play other sports, you know, and if there's a scholarship for you, there will be for you because, you know, you're going to put the work in regardless. So play other sports, do other things, and just get your mind off of like what's in front of you right now. Just be a complete person.
I'm so encouraged by what you bring to the community. And when I spoke on the phone with you the other day, I thought you just did training full time, but that's not the case. You are also a teaching assistant at Sheldon Pines.
Yep.
And when I learned that, I'm like, well, of course he is. Like, who else is fit for something like that other than you? Can you tell us about what you do there and what that entails?
Yeah, no, Sheldon Pines is a special place. It's an alternative school for special needs students for behavioral issues, cognitively impairments, and emotionally impairments. So you got a lot of kids with different struggles, and you know, it's a humbling, but it's also like it's a special place to be. The staff is great. I have a great boss, Brandy Navarro, and a great staff. And we're all just super patient. We love the kids, you know. We're there for them, and yeah, I just like, you could take this training stuff away from me, but like this, what at Sheldon Pines, I absolutely love it there. Like, I love being around people and just trying to help, honestly.
Well, there was a lot of stuff at Thanksgiving, but there's probably some humble pie too.
Yeah, for sure.
You are a very humble person, Jorddan Myrick. I know Bill and I both feel the same way about you. We are tremendously grateful that you're among us, that you're at this school, that you're spending time with our young athletes. When they're not around their coach, when they're not around their family, or when they're in the gym with you, there's not a better place to be.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah, it's all real too.
Yep.
And we really thank you for coming on here today. And hey, everybody, remember, we are West Ottawa. We are community. We are each other. And we got Jorddan Myrick among us, and just, it pretty much can't get any better.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming on with us today, Jorddan. Really appreciate the time.
I appreciate you guys. This is a great podcast, and I love what you guys are doing, bringing the community together. So it's special.
If you have enjoyed listening to the 29-1 podcast, be sure to like and subscribe. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.